Hi guys, thanks for joining me here in the woods. A lot of you have been asking what you need to get started in bushcraft, what sort of things should you buy. So I listened and I put together a real bushcraft kit for under 20 bucks. And by real I mean no gimmicks. I mean the kind of things I use every day, that's rugged, that lasts, gets the job done, but doesn't have to be expensive. When you talk about a bushcraft kit, the first thing that a lot of people want to hear about is your knife. So the one I brought today is a Mora 511, and it's a great bushcraft knife, in my opinion. Great utility knife. I've used this a lot in the field. As you can see, it's beat up. I've even carved the handle. Not that the handle's bad, but plastic like this can be carved like wood, so I made it fit my hand even better, just the way I liked it. I like them to be more flat. It was originally more rounded, but you don't have to carve your handle. And it even comes with a sheath for $10. How can you beat it? It might not be the prettiest sheath, but it locks right in with one motion, and I like that. I don't like the snap or some sort of retaining device. I like to pull it out, put it back in. Really saves a lot of time. It's a lot easier setting up camp. I'm cutting a lot of cords to set up a ridge line or something. Just really great. It has good retention. Got a drain hole. I mean, that's not gonna push through and stab you if it's in a pocket or something. It has this clip that goes over your belt. You don't have to take your belt off. And then notice the hook, so after it goes over your belt, it doesn't come off. Or you can clip it to the inside of your pants pocket, throw it in your pack just like that. It's almost effortless. And 10 bucks. I like the Scandi grind. They come scary sharp. I like the Scandi grind. They're easy to resharpen in my opinion, because you just follow that angle down, and I don't think it can go wrong. It's only a few ounces of carry, including the sheath. So let's say you bought it for 10 bucks, you didn't like it. How much commitment is that really? You can just give it to a friend. Or here's the thing, you could keep it in your pack as the backup, and it doesn't weigh much at all. I'll show you one more option. This is a free option, believe it or not, because this is a Russell brand knife. I believe model 10. It's a paring knife. Carbon steel, walnut handles, brass rivets. And a lot of people don't realize this, but trade knives, mountain man's knives, were the same as their kitchen knives. They grabbed butcher knives, or for smaller tasks like this, paring knife. I made the sheath myself. Bought a piece of scrap leather at a thrift store for 50 cents. And I had the cord and the beads. This is electrical wire that I salvaged for decoration. And there you go. So if you don't want to spend $10 to get started, do you have a paring knife you can grab, or a butcher knife that's like a reasonable size and fits well in your hand? A lot of people have various knives like this in their toolboxes, or like a junk drawer, a tool drawer. I have a Swedish grandfather, so when I was growing up there was wooden handled Moras and drawers and toolboxes over the house. So I'm saying for our real bushcraft kit, but a budget bushcraft kit, I'm going to say $10 for the Mora. But you do you, and we'll keep going. The next thing I would buy is a Ferro Rod. And I'd get a cheap one. I'd spend $5 or $6. This one's Elk Ridge. Got it at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. It's a bargain brand. Another bargain brand they have is Explorer. This I got at a discount tool store. It's bigger, fatter, got a better handle. But it was only $5. So that's great. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. I'd save the original sparker, the striker. A lot of people like to use their knives. You can decide if you want to do that later, but just initially I'd recommend keeping the striker. And the Elk Ridge has a good striker. It's directional though. You want this way, not like this, because there's burrs on this side. And it throws some good sparks. There are better and worse ferro rods, but here's the thing: is you use it, you're wearing off metal. The sparks you see are actually molten blobs of metal, and eventually you wear this thinner and thinner and it breaks, right? And a lot of people are rough on them when they're learning how to use it. You have to get your sparks close enough to your tinder. The other thing is they come with this protective coating. You see that? See how it's scraped off here? So if I try it where there's a coating, I'm not going to get sparks right away. People are new at it, and a lot of them think, oh, I got a bum one because no sparks. Well, you have to wear away that coating. So if you want to, you get a more expensive one later, but my suggestion, just get a cheap one, $5 or $6. The next thing I'd recommend that you get is a roll of jute twine. It's only about $1, sometimes $2, but really cheap. I would recommend that you buy a compass, and it doesn't have to be an expensive one. I got this one at a discount tool store for $1 and change. I think it was $1.25. And I'd shy away from button compasses. You want something with over an inch diameter, getting closer to 2-inch diameter compass. But you can find them cheap. But what I do in the store is I spin them around. I'll try to show you what I do in the store before I buy a compass. I want it on a flat surface. Here I just have leaves, and I spin it around, and I want to see the needle moving freely and self-correcting, and I do that a bunch of times. I want it to keep pointing the same direction. Then I take another compass off the rack and I spin it around. That one really moves freely, and that's an Explorer brand. I bought it from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Forget how much it was, maybe $5. Still pretty inexpensive. So that definitely moves freely. It's not binding up or anything. See, this isn't oil filled. All oil filled does is slow down the needle movement. It dampens it so you get less movement. And that one isn't oil filled, so you get all that spinning. So look, we're both pointing. That's very decorative, but north is here. And I like that because the whole face of the compass moves. So when it's pointing north, there's no question what's north. With this one, it's got a red side, a red pointer with a phosphorescent dot on it, and the other side of the pointer is white. But you have to know which color it is that's pointing north. I know this one is red. But anyway, so it's the kind where the whole face doesn't move, just the needle. You got to know how to read the needle before you head out. Even in the store, I check it with other compasses, and those are both working fine even though they're cheap, inexpensive. That's what I need. Okay amigos, we're moving right along. Next thing, a bush pot, and this one is a US military canteen cup. The plastic canteen they have fits right in there, and it's got your butterfly handles. Those are cheap, about $10 on eBay, but that will put us over budget. So here's something I found in the dump. I think this might have been Boy Scouts way back when, and it was designed for a handle that I didn't get because I was scrounging it. So I just drilled a couple holes on either side, made a bail out of a coat hanger, and I like it because it has a spout, so that's good. Light, made out of aluminum, I think. Here's another one. It's what used to be a rice cooker pot. I don't know if you're familiar with those, similar to a crock pot but used for cooking rice. This is the aluminum pot that fits into it, and it was getting thrown away, so I salvaged this. And why it's so beat up is it was round and it was a little awkward to fit in my pack, so I just pounded it with a hammer to rectangular shape, drilled a couple holes. Again, I have my coat hanger bail, and that's really light actually for the size and fits well in the pack. You might think it looks ridiculous. Well, here's the thing. You can spend big money on a bush pot, or you can get one for free. And even though this is so ridiculous looking, that's going to be my example there. There we go. I would also recommend a cup. Doesn't have to be a metal cup, it can be. I got this one at the dollar store. But how many cups do you have at the house? So let's say I boil water in here. Do I want to drink out of that? That's pretty sizable, and plus if it's been heating up in the fire, I don't want to burn my lips off, right? So if I have a separate cup, I can pour the water into here, let this cools off faster in the container itself as it's been in the fire. If it's a metal cup, then if I lose this, I could always set the metal cup on the fire and boil water that way. So a metal cup can be advantageous. Plastic cup might be more readily available and lighter, so you decide. But I'm picking that from my example. Then I'd recommend a spoon. Some people go all crazy with titanium spoons. Don't worry about that. Right now I just carry a metal spoon. Could get a plastic spoon or spork, it's up to you. Grab one, save one from fast food restaurant, whatever, who cares. Could consider carrying a fork. I usually don't. You can. You can tie that to a stick and use it as a skewer. Eat with it, whatever. Something to think about. I don't carry a knife because there's my knife. You know, it washes really well, very easily. Also, cotton bandana. A lot of people have a bandana around the house. I don't recommend polyester or man-made material because around the campfire it melts, and one of the uses for it, the cotton bandanas, might be for grabbing the pot, different things. If you don't have an actual bandana, I just cut a rag out of my t-shirt. Bring one of those. And then contractor bag. You can spend the money on a tarp or a poncho, but contractor bag works just as well. Those are real rugged. Can be a poncho, can be a tent, can be a ground cover. If you don't have one of those, then a green trash bag. I don't recommend the white kitchen bags. Too small and flimsy in my opinion, but rugged trash bag and or contractor bag. Actually, bringing both of those is good. That way I have a cover over the top. I also have ground cover. The last thing I'm going to recommend for your bushcraft kit, some sort of water bottle. And this is just an apple juice bottle that I washed out, but who doesn't have some sort of water bottle lying around the house? So grab one, two, throw it in your pack. For a day trip, I'm recommending you bring at least 2 quarts plus whatever food. And I've been calling this a beginning bushcraft kit, but really this is all I need. No high budget items here. Some of it's beat up and old. It's all I need for days or as long as I want, really. And yet weighs only 3.5 pounds, a little bit under that, including the backpack. I'm not including the weight of the water or the food, but everything else only 3.5 pounds, where I can actually live out here. What it boils down to is skills. I've learned how to do this. So I'm trying to inspire you to put together a kit. Just do it. Doesn't cost a lot of money. Put together a kit, run out into the woods, learn different skills, practice different things. You do you. Find a system that works for you, and then your kit will lend itself to that. So that's your beginning bushcraft kit. Could get you started. Could be a wonderful new hobby for you. Could be a new way of life. There's plenty of room up here. Plenty of room for you to set up your tent. We're not crowded. And encouragement keeps me going. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I ask you to do that. Please leave a comment if you liked it. If you didn't like it, I value constructive criticism. I can do better. Even nasty comments. I mean, really, get it off your chest. If I did something wrong, I'll try to do it better. And I hope to be back here soon and see you again. Psalm 1 verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. God bless you guys.